You want to know why you're not motivated to read more sales books or business books is because you don't think you need it.
Okay, what is going on? We are back on another podcast, and I'm stoked today because we have someone that is coming on for the second time. Not too many people that can say that. So we have the one, the only Mikey Lucas coming back on the show. Thanks for hopping on with us again, Mikey.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, I'm excited. And a lot has changed since what is that? Like, I think it's been year and a half, 2 years maybe?
Almost, 2 years, I think now. Yeah. When I was out in San Diego with you. Yeah. Been almost 2 years.
Yeah. Been a while. And so I know a ton has changed. And me and you, we didn't talk for a long time either. Last time I saw you was at SolarCon. This guy was running around in his, what's that Middle Eastern get up?
It's called a thobe.
Thobe? Okay. So he's running around in this thobe and telling people about this energy fund. But yeah, he definitely drew some attention. I was like, who is this? We got Iraqis running around over here. Who is this guy? Yeah. I didn't even recognize you till like the second
I had a bunch of dudes were like, yo, did you like convert to Islam? And I was like, nah, man, Jesus is Lord, bro. We're so good, bro. It's just a cultural thing. Bro. Chill.
Yeah. So yeah, I know you're doing some cool stuff, and yeah, maybe you can tell everyone why you're wearing that and everything. But yeah, do you want to tell us what you've been up to the past year and a half? So, and I know you've kind of transitioned. You're not selling solar, at least I don't think you're selling solar day to day anymore, but you're doing a lot of other things. So yeah, do you want to give us just kind of a quick update on what you've been up to the past year and a half?
Sure. So I'll kind of give like the overview, but then I would like to talk about like why it happened. So basically what I'm doing right now, I transitioned. My end goal was to become the bank. So eventually I wanted to own a bank, right? Be in venture capitalist, be an institutional investor and an angel investor. I always looked up to those guys. Those guys are the guys that were driving the Rolls Royces, that had all the nice, the beautiful families, the nice homes and all that stuff. And that was like what I thought I wanted, but in reality, what I actually wanted was I wanted a challenge, and door-to-door absolutely challenged me for, the decade I did it. I, installed in my career within my offices, $178 million in solar. 27 of that was my own, million was my own. And I knew that I wanted to get challenged. So the next progression, kind of like going from a real estate agent to a real estate investor to then a builder, and then, the bank was for Mikey Lucas was, go in, be a setter, and then go in, be a closer, self-gener, then go and get leads, then start your own kind of management and kind of work your way up to regional manager, whatever, and then start your own dealer and so on and so forth. Kind of the same concept within door-to-door. I knew that energy was definitely my industry I wanted to stay in. It was my expertise. I technically fought oil and gas for a long time, but wasn't really fighting oil and gas. I was fighting this systemic issue we have with an energy crisis that we all believe in. And we all know that is just true. I actually get more afraid. I know you're in California, so you see them more prevalent than we do here in Texas, but I'm actually more afraid of our energy grid and energy production when I see more Teslas and electric cars on the road. It actually scares the crap out of me because I know how much power those things pull. I mean, if you guys own a house, you've ever seen with your Tesla plugged in, rather, that meter spins very, very, very fast. Let alone if you have your AC on in the summertime and your Tesla plugged in, golly, that thing is moving quick. Yeah. So I knew that there was a major problem. And, Jim Rohn talks about we get paid for the problems that we solve. And I think that this is a major problem, which is why I started the American Energy Fund with my partner, Brad Behrens. We believe that we need to have a clean transition to a sustainable energy future. And we can't necessarily rely on the government to help us get there, but we can, as entrepreneurs, as business professionals, we can do that. So that's what we started, the American Energy Fund for. We're putting. I always tell people hey, while you're partying on a Saturday, we're going to go make sure we keep the lights on. So I know that if we don't do something about it now, there's a chance that the electric grids in the United States, not just here in Texas, but the electric grids in the States, are first of all, they're extremely vulnerable. But if we don't do something about it now, we're going to have major issues in the next foreseeable future. So that's why I started the grid, started the American Energy Fund. But yeah, I've got a mastermind. I coach. I don't do any sales anymore. I just do financial coaching and education. So I help solar professionals, door-to-door professionals, real estate professionals as well. create 20, 30, $40,000 a month in passive income. So,
Nice.
it's easy to make money. It's the hard part's keeping it, right? The easy
Right.
part's, hard part's not making it. The hard part's keeping it and investing it well. And the issue is that there's TikTok experts online and gurus on YouTube, and
Yeah.
most of them don't tell you what the billionaires are telling you. So my motto or investment thesis is invest like a billionaire, not a millionaire. So
Nice.
that's kind of what I've been up to, Taylor. That's what I got, bro.
Awesome. That's awesome. And hey, by the way, you got your Vegas Golden Knights get up on. So congrats on the win.
So, appreciate
Go
it. Stanley Cup
Golden
winners, baby.
Let's go.
Love us or hate us, baby. We're still the winners.
Yeah. Got the sports themes going. If you're looking at the video, I got my little Padres shirt on. So
Let's go Pods.
supporting the teams. Yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna win the ship here this year as well. The Padres.
I know. I hope so. I'm not really a baseball fan, but went to a game. They gave me the shirt, and I'm like, hey,
That shirt is sick, dude. That shirt is sick, bro.
Hawaiian Padres. I like it.
Oh yeah, was it on a Sunday or Saturday?
When it was like on a Wednesday, I think.
Oh really?
It's last week. It's
That's
funny.
probably why.
Yeah, I went with a bunch of our team, and none of them really are Padres fans. So by like the fifth inning, there was only like 3 of us left at the game. We're in like the box seats, just eating food and stuff. But it was fun. It's a good time.
I have a restaurant. I have an Everbowl in Padre Stadium, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. I have to hit it up next time. But anyways, not to turn this into a sports podcast. That's for next show, I guess. But no, it's cool to hear what you're doing. And what I like about that is most solar reps probably don't even care, especially starting out. Like, I know I didn't know about any of this stuff, and I didn't know we were in an energy crisis. So that is good to know and cool to hear that people are thinking about that for our future generations. But yeah, that reminds me, like, what happened in California in EM3, where they're now requiring batteries. And I don't know, I think that's part of the reason California did that. It seems like to maybe take stress off the grid so much and have people be more self-sufficient. So what's your thoughts on that? And do you think what California did, do you think that's headed to other markets in the near future? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I do agree to a certain extent. So let me explain myself on that. Elon has always said that, and most of just to be clear, most of my information comes from Elon. I'd say over, between 50 and 60% of my information comes from Elon. And then I obviously go source it and check it, but most of it comes from Elon. Elon's obviously a really, really big thinker and a big supporter of Elon in most of his life, right? Not all of his life, but most of his life. I agree. He's got some, if you believe in a meritocracy where like the best idea wins, Elon's ideas are typically pretty good, right? For the most part. And he hasn't been wrong very, very much as of recently, over the last at least 10, 15 years. So Elon has always said, like, one of the reasons he started Solar City was one of the reasons one of the results, or I guess one of the, not the results, but one of the plans, right, inside of the end goal to have a sustainable sustainable energy future, like a green future, basically transition out of fossil fuels into a renewable, sustainable energy future is what his goal with Solar City was. And Tesla is now, but his idea was to have microgrids. So one of the things he was talking about with Tesla Energy, with the batteries, the Powerwalls, was to be able to store the power during a crisis, be able to give the power back to the power grid, which is basically these little neighborhoods, if you will, of microgrids. Now, is the energy grid set up to do that? No, the energy grid is set up to do one thing: from power company, from power generation to the homes and the businesses, not the other way around. But if we transition to that in the future, or if we can get more micro grids on the grid, on our grid, then yes, absolutely, it's going to get to that point. And I think that's just one of the smartest things they can do. The hard part is, if we use California as an example, right? It's like, that California has its issues in and of itself, right? So they're buying, they're shutting down nuclear, natural gas, and coal power plants left and right, which is what's led to this massive spike in cost. And it's almost like it's a no-brainer to do solar in California. I don't care what utility you're in, sub-utility, whatever you're in, it is an absolute no-brainer. It's almost like you're an idiot if you don't do solar in California. If you can own your home. Yeah. So do I see that happening in the future? Yes. The same thing they're trying. I've been wanting, when I worked at Solar City, which is Tesla now, And back in the day, I would watch the Texas Public Utilities Commission's videos, and they were talking about like having microgrids, the same concept. And yeah, it seems like that's going to be going where the future's at. Now, what the cool thing is, Taylor, is that that's actually already happening overseas. So in America, we just turn the lights on and expect the lights to turn on. Overseas, which you've been overseas and I've been overseas as well, they don't just have readily available access to electricity like we do here. So it is a privilege to have electricity. Overseas, they're actually built instead of running in very expensive lines from power companies and generations and transmission centers. They're actually just creating battery backup and or diesel battery, a diesel powered basically microgrids and little central stations for power for the villages, small cities, and towns. And that's happening right now. We actually we're working on a project in Thailand right now where we're doing that. So for them to be able to send the power back in, it's going to cost an extra like 150 grand USD, American dollar, to be able to get more electricity they've already built this. It was a small village, then it became a town. It's almost to a city now. So they don't have enough power. So they're basically living on some electricity light bulbs, but they don't have AC. They don't have any of these. And it's hot in Thailand. If you've ever been there, it's like the Philippines. It's stinking hot all the time, all day long. It's like, Florida 24/7. But yeah, so the microgrids, they will get there. Absolutely. That's going to be one of the best things that's ever happened to the electricity market. It's kind of like with shoes. I heard this the other day. I watched the movie Air last night with my wife. Shoes. They changed shoes twice before, the Jordans came out, is what the guy said. The guy that created the Jordans, or that engineered the Jordans. He's like, the first one for the last 600 years was they were just the same shoe. And the only distinction, there's been two distinctions now, is the shoes and then the left from the right shoe. So it's kind of funny. It's like the power grid is this old, outdated grid. So yes, Taylor, do I see microgrids coming in? Yeah. The key here is not just, okay, cool, there's going to be microgrids. For me, it's how do we capitalize on that? How do we make money on that? And it's not just by just selling solar. It is for your listeners and for yourself. It is, hey, go make money by putting up little power plants on homes. And then how do you now invest in that on a utility scale as an investor? And absolutely, all of your listeners can absolutely do that. And we're doing that through the American Energy Fund. So yeah, it's a big deal. I love investing in the grid.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard from people that know more about it, like overseas, a lot of countries, when people go solar, it's not like where they just add up solar panels. It's like they do the whole home. They add the batteries, they add generator, like a bunch of other stuff as they're doing it. So I think that's probably where it's headed, and it's cool to hear about that. But no, that's cool. And so I want to shift gears a little bit. And I don't know if everyone knows, but probably most people at this point know that you also were on a podcast called Road to the Golden Door, which is super dope. And I was, I got to be on that. And I think it just came out. Did it just release yesterday or something last night?
Yep.
Okay, sweet.
It premiered.
Okay, premiered. Sweet. So at the time of this, it's probably been out for a few weeks at this point, so you can go check that out. We'll link to it. But super cool podcast, and it's really cool because you're teaching guys how they can, like the mindset they need to get their first golden door, and guys that have gotten multiple golden doors. So it's really cool, I think, what you're doing for like the whole door-to-door industry. So I want to shift gears and talk about that a little bit. Why did you decide to start this podcast and focus in on just that one thing, helping guys get a golden door award?
Okay, so this is not public yet, but this is a marketing thing. So this is for the listeners. Most people, they start a podcast without an intention. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my mentor Cole Hatter always told me, "Hey, don't start a podcast unless you can monetize it, unless you can make money on it in some way, fashion, or form." And I was like, okay. So I actually started just an interviewing podcast to whatever, get in front of more people before. I don't even remember what it was called. It was something about money, right? It was like some wealth or whatever, right? Wealthy millennial or something like that, right? Okay. It didn't really go anywhere. And I was like, cause I didn't have a passion up for it, and I didn't know what I was doing. So the real reason why I started it was really two things. One, I needed to get in front of my client avatar. My client avatar is a Golden Door Award winner, because Golden Door Award winners make $500,000 to $1 million a year, which means they have major problems with time to be able to go and invest and the ability to know what to invest into. And also they have a huge they have a huge tax liability. They have they pay a lot of money in taxes.
Yeah.
So my fund actually helps target those kind of people. So one, what most people don't understand about podcasts or even marketing in general is they think just starting a podcast, you just start a podcast. Well, why do you start a podcast? I didn't just start the podcast just to make money on it, but this is not charity, right? Like I'm married. I'm going to have kids soon. Like I'm doing this. I have 3 podcasts this week. One with you here, and then 2 for my show. Like I'm not just spending an hour and a half, 5 hours out of my week, 6 hours out of my week when I'm working 100 hours a week, 96 hours a week, every single week for last couple years. That's a lot of time. So the reason why I started was because there was one way to get in front of people that I would never have gotten in front of in the first place, but it's also solving a major problem. Okay. Right. A lot of people, most people are not like you, Taylor, where you have a show and you're actually helping and adding value to the industry. I wanted to lift up on a pedestal a lot of these top guys and girls that are in the industry. So the number 2 thing why I did it was to lift up the people that are already there. Like they get one picture, one moment on stage, and now they're getting their name, their brand, them to get put out on the internet. So the reason why I targeted Golden Door Award winners solely, the top 1% of the door-to-door industry, is because I want to promote them. I'm like, yo, this is my podcast, but I'm promoting you, bro. Like recruit on this show, do whatever you want to do, promote you, bro. Like, why are you the best? Let's put you out there. And then thirdly, is because obviously I wanted to add value to the industry as a whole, but I wanted to nurture and add value back to the top dogs, because the top dogs, it's very lonely on top. Yeah. So I built the podcast really not for the entire industry, though the industry gets value from it. I built it so that other Golden Door Award winners can go listen to the other Golden Door Award winners and see how much they're struggling. And they're Ashton Buswell, after 3 months of hitting 200 deals in 3 months, thought he wanted to quit. The very week after he hit that goal, was like, I'm done. I want to quit. I don't think I can do this anymore. And luckily his wife was like, hit him back into shape and got him back on doors. But like to be able to use Road to the Golden Door as a platform for the weaknesses of the top dogs, so that other top dogs, top G's in the industry know that you're not the only one struggling, right? You're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one with relationship issues. You're not the only one with company issues. You're not the only one with utility issues, bank issues, financial issues, whatever. You're not the only one with health issues. You're not the only one. I want you to feel like you have a community, and that's what I built it for.
Yeah. Boom. That's awesome.
And I've learned a ton from it too. My gosh, I'm like taking 3 pages of notes from these guys.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the same boat. And what's really cool is I think, like you said, it brings it to a level where people can kind of relate more with these guys. Because I know when I started, I thought like, oh, I could never hit that many deals. I can never be on stage. But as you like listen to them, you hear that, hey, they're just regular dudes. And I think people realize that, as I've done a podcast too, is like, that's what I try to talk about in my podcast every week. How I didn't close this deal. I struggle in this way. Didn't spend enough time with my wife here. So like, even though we're Golden Door Award winners, we all have a lot of struggles. And it's really cool what you're doing to relate with them. So how many episodes have you had? How many guys have you interviewed on it up to this point?
We're just over 40 episodes now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just over 40 now. And it's going really well. I can't wait to have some of these guys back on, because some of these guys are, 5-time, 4-time platinum Golden Door Award winners, right? I just had Troy DeBenowitz on, and he was he's like a 3-time platinum, right? Yeah. Which is like you hit double Golden Door 3 years in a row, twice. So he just keeps hitting platinum now. The guy is just insane. Eric Salazar, Michael O'Donnell. I mean, these guys are just like year after year. Michael Schmelzer, Justin Knutson. These guys are year after year after year hitting it. Colby Free is a 2-time, about to be 3-time Golden Door winner. I've had him on multiple. I've had him on. I mean, these guys are just killers. So it's cool, man. About 40 episodes, a little over 40 episodes, and it's going well. I haven't thrown any money at it really. So I'm about to start throwing some money at it and start to grow it a little bit more. But I've got some really good feedback, which is cool, man. People are like really liking it. I mean, there's like bombs being dropped on this thing. Like it's like, I'm becoming a really good interviewer. And I think that's what the cool thing is. Cause like, I'm not there to talk. It's not a sales podcast.
Yeah.
It's not a sales podcast. It's a life podcast. But I'm just interviewing, these all-stars like yourself. You dropped bombs. I was like, I had 2.5 pages of notes on your podcast alone.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good time. And no, you're doing great work with it. I need to go catch up on all the episodes, but I've listened a ton. There's a ton of value there. So we appreciate what you're doing with that. And what's cool is, Mikey, you're a gold. I think 2019, didn't we both step on the stage same year? Get our gold.
Not in 2019. I hit it before Golden Door was a Golden Door in Dallas, Texas in 2016. Okay. But I also technically hit it in 2020, which I didn't know. And I don't have the award from 2020, but I did hit it in 2020 as well.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's what's really cool.
Yeah. 2-time. So you're not only one yourself, but you're interviewing the top guys who are. And like you said, it's cool because like I got my Golden Door award, but sometimes interviewing some of these guys that are like multiple platinum, hitting like 2-3 Golden Doors every year. It's like, man, I got a long ways to go. I thought I was good, but these guys are just on another level. So yeah, it's cool to kind of expand the vision and hear the possibilities, see what guys are doing.
Man.
Hit some of these numbers. But yeah, speaking of that, I want to dive in a little bit. Like, what do you see as you've done these interviews and only done people who've hit these Golden Door awards? Do you have any like common themes for people who are trying to hit their first Golden Door? What are some common themes you see across all the success these guys are having that you could share with our listeners?
Sure. Yeah. So for the listeners that are trying to hit it, there's like, I can do it in sections, right? So the guys that are trying to hit, guys and girls that are trying to hit it, the main things that I see is that the Golden Door Award winner, he or she, first believed that they could hit it. The only I think it was like one. I think it was like Austin Stoker, didn't even know it was a thing. There was like maybe 1 or 2 guys that were like, I didn't even know it was like a thing, and then I was told it was a thing. I think there's one other guy. So there's a couple things. So one, they believed that they were going to hit it. They set the goal. I'm going to go hit a Golden Door. So it's almost like they were at Door to Door Con the previous year, and they're like, I want to be on stage, and they went and got it. Right. That was that. So they had an actual end goal. So there was at least clarity on what they wanted. 2, I would say that one of the main things is that I've seen rookies hit it first year in Door to Door ever. And we've obviously seen veterans hit it. So if you're a rookie, you can still hit it, especially now this year, you can hit it as a setter this year. So I'm excited to see the amount of setters that hit 200 deals this year. I'm like really excited to see that because there's a lot of recognition that's not being given out. So I'm really glad Sam did that. Yeah. So rookies can hit it. And I've seen rookies hit it. I mean, they just hit it. There's not like, oh, I'm not good at it yet. Rookies have hit it and veterans have also hit it. I would say a couple of the main things that if you're trying to hit it for the first year this year is these guys really had not a bulletproof routine, but they had some sort of a structured plan routine that they were like, their standards were, I'm on doors at 9 a.m. I'm at the gym at 7 a.m. I'm in bed by midnight. Like they had some sort of it wasn't a routine. So that's the problem I have with routine, Taylor, actually, is like routines have to change a lot. Cause if you're like, I'm on doors at 9 a.m. Well, what if you have a 9 a.m. appointment? You're not on doors. And then you're like, well, now my week's screwed up. No, stop, chill. Yeah. They just had a standard that they treated themselves as if they were almost W-2 employees. They were working from 9 to 9. That's just what it was, or 9 to 7, whatever, right? Like some guys are like, I will be home with my wife at 5 a.m. for dinner every day. I haven't seen one guy that hit Golden Door that's ever done that. Yeah. Not one. So if for the guys that were married, right, they pre-overcame that issue of, hey, I agree with my wife that I'm going to be home at 5 o'clock every single day. Well, brother, you don't have $50,000 a month coming in every single month. You're not going to be able to be home with your wife at 5 a.m. You know what you need to do is you need to structure quality time with your wife when you're not at work and actually get your wife on board to support you to do that so that you guys can go eventually hit your goals. So they also had a plan with their wives. They had to get their wife or their significant other. If you don't have a wife or a husband at that time, right? Good. Go and work as hard as you possibly can. But if you do have a wife, for a lot of the guys that do have wives and kids, they structured out the 16-hour workday Sunday through Sunday. That there was some sort of a clarity on where are you going to spend time with your kids? Where it's plan time with your wife, plan time with your kids throughout their week. And they stuck to that. So a lot of the guys, they took all of Sunday and they worked with their family all of Sunday. And that was their thing. And, it's like, then the wife has to get on board with that. And you got to sell your wife on being on board during that year. How does Troy Benowitz, a 3-time platinum Golden Oar guy, how does he have 6 kids and a wife? Like, come on, bro. We act like, oh, I have a wife. I can't. It's like, no, you can. You can. Obviously, is there different situations? Like, I would say definitely the first kid is definitely a lot harder than like the 6th kid, but or 5th kid, right? So there's a situation there. I know that. Anyways, the other, having a little bit of clarity. I think the hard part is what the guys that have not hit it yet, they hit 50, 60 deals a year. Why they're not hitting 130 or 100 self-trends or 200 deals, the point system. Now it's a point system now, but why they're not hitting it is because they're going too fast. Taylor, they're not slowing down to think.
Yeah.
The book, really good book. If you haven't ever read it, it's a Christian book, called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It is one of the best books to like, hey buddy, you got to slow down, prepare for war, then go into war. Then when you come back, prepare again, plan, have a strategy, then go into war. We just live in this like ongoing war, which is why they call it the solar coaster, that ends up making your brain after 3 to 6 months want to go to the easy route.
Yeah.
I would say that's the main thing. I love that.
Yeah, it's huge. That's cool. And I know a lot of guys have come and talked. Ashton, he's a good guy that talks about kind of like, he's got lots of kids. The wife talks about that. So that's something I have thought about a lot as I'm having kids and kind of in that same stage. But another thing too, I would say, and you probably agree with this, is I've seen top producers as I've interviewed them. It's like you're talking about the routine. That we're all going to get off that routine. We're all going to have days where we got out late or where like the point we were in appointment messed up our knocking. And so I've seen in top producers, and I've also noticed in myself that these top guys, when they get off that routine, they don't beat themselves up and take like the whole day off or take like another couple hours off. Because I think a lot of lower producers, they get in this all or nothing mindset where it's like, oh, I didn't get out on the doors by 10 a.m. So now this whole day is shot. We'll just go to the movies and start over tomorrow. It's like, no, you still got 4 hours right now to go out and knock. You can still go make something this day and not just scrap the whole thing. So I think that's another big thing I've seen. It's not all or nothing. It's you go with the punches, and sometimes things aren't going to go your way. Maybe something came up in the morning with kids, whatever, but you're going out still and you're, making what you can of the time you do have. So I think
the main thing there is just, like, how do you deal with adversity? I don't know if there's any attribute that I saw from the consistency throughout all of them is every single one of them had a really good way at dealing with adversity. Yeah. They like anticipated bad weather happening. And what happens in Florida when a hurricane comes and you did not anticipate?
Yeah.
And like, we don't think about that as entrepreneurs. I was just talking with one of my assistants a second ago. I was like, I think when people, in other words, they're just not anticipating. I don't want to get into that story as it'll take 5 minutes, but basically people are not anticipating. It's almost like, hey, we told you that there was a war coming or there's a storm coming, financial turmoil is coming, like prepare. And you're starting to see all these millionaires and, saying, man, I lost, 300 million of my net worth. You're like, did you not see the signs? Like even these guys are not, they're not susceptible or whatever. They still can get hit by these financial downturns, which is happening right now. And it's going to happen in the future. Yeah. Like we're just not preparing. It's like, dude, the good thing for us, we have, solar guys, we have a very stable, people are going to be buying power. They will miss their mortgage before they miss their power bill. It's really hard. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. It's really hard to lie about you didn't pay the power bill, but it's easy to hide that you didn't pay your mortgage.
Yeah.
You can't lie about not paying your power bill. They turn the power off with your mortgage. You can lie about that. You can hide that. I actually missed a mortgage 3 times.
Yeah.
Years ago. Yeah. People ask me like, Mikey, what keeps you motivated? I never want to miss 3 mortgages ever again. That's what
Well,
motivates me.
it's funny here in California, at least San Diego, people can miss power since COVID. They put like a policy in place where like they can miss power bills and they don't shut the power off. So
Really?
that's actually an objection. Strangely enough, that's an objection I've had to overcome in solar out here because they're like, well, SDG&E, they let me miss my power bill. So with solar, can I like just skip payments a few times if I want to? And I'm
No.
like, no, not really. So that's like something I've had to kind of overcome. I'm like, man, they're just letting some people skip power bills without really a payment or a penalty. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they change that. I don't get
Yeah.
it very often,
When
but
you're the monopoly, you can do whatever you want, I guess.
yeah, pretty funny.
Where else are you going to go? Don't worry. We'll just put it on rears. We'll put it on the back end.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's crazy. But that's good. Good things, and yeah, I love what you're doing again with the podcast, Mikey. And so something I wanted to get into, just touch on. I know we talked about this in the podcast. Me and you did together as well. But I know another common thing that we talked about in our podcast is a lot of these guys have systems in place, and I know you're big on like virtual assistants, systems in your own business, and that's something I talk about as well. So from you that's had assistants, can you talk about that? Like how maybe people could apply that and I don't know, possibly get like VAs, like what systems you have in your business that you'd maybe recommend for other people trying to like build a brand or maybe things that could help as they're trying to kind of offload tasks.
Yeah, sure. So this podcast is brought to you by google.com. You should use Excel or Google Sheets. The first thing you need to do is write out what details happen in every job to move the job from sale to PTO. If you don't have that written out, like what's the first thing? Sale.
Yeah.
Sign docs. Okay, what's the second thing? Did I turn the docs in? What's the fourth thing? Cool. Or the third thing, rather. Did we schedule a site survey? The fourth thing, the site survey happened. Like people are not tracking that, the crucial things. Like I signed it. Did I turn it in?
Yeah.
Site survey scheduled. Did it happen?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, first thing I would say is, the only way that a Golden Door Award winner goes from a single Golden Door to a double Golden Door or triple Golden Door Award winner, is having a system in place, which I'll gladly talk about, with virtual assistants. And it doesn't necessarily have to be virtual assistants. Michael Donald, Troy Benowitz, those guys, Val, those guys at Sun Solar, they don't have virtual assistants. They've got American highly paid people in person. I typically will use Australian, Costa Rican, Mexican, and then Filipino virtual assistants or executive assistants. I don't know, like the whole like idea that the $2, $3, $4 virtual assistants, it's as a project manager, you pay for what you get. My top girl right now makes almost $20 an hour. And if you look at her benefits and everything she gets almost $30 an hour. But that's my right hand. That is like, you know, running all the businesses. If I were to, you know, miss a meeting, she could go in there and negotiate and do the exact same things I can do. But the easy part is everyone knows. So when they're going to listen to this, they're like, okay, I'm going to go get a virtual assistant. I'm going to go on Upwork, Fiverr, find virtual assistant, project manager. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. I actually wrote an article on entrepreneur.com about this. You can't just think that you're going to hire a team of virtual assistants or assistants, whatever, of people. And then without you having a standard operating procedure, they're just gonna be able to do it. Like, do you understand how complicated it is to do solar? Like, I know you get it, but like taking somebody that's never even done like the sun run training, like they don't even know what PTO even means. Right. If you don't have a system in place of tracking start to finish these jobs and knowing how to solve the problems, whatever, it's going to be very hard to hire people and actually let them do it. You're gonna be like, they're gonna be frustrated. I'm paying this person $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $8 an hour, whatever. And they're not doing it. Well, you didn't teach them. And the hard part about hiring virtual assistants is it takes like 3 to 6 months to get them up and running, especially if you don't have standard operating procedures, especially if you don't have your own CRM built out.
For sure.
But you can just use Google Sheets, and that works very well at the start. But yeah, I don't know. You can ask more, I guess, direct questions about it. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. Well, I was just going to say with that, like, I wish I would have done that, whether you have assistants or not. I think this is something every solar rep, every person in solar should be tracking regardless, because I just think back, I think this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I didn't have any systems in place for this stuff. And I remember a deal, it was a pretty big system, like 10 kilowatt was going to make like 16, 17 grand on it. And 3 months go by. I'm like, man, this deal is taking a while. And I make a call to the installer, and they're like, oh, we didn't even have a completed site survey yet for this. After 3 months, they didn't have that site survey done. And obviously that's like, installation company issues too. But I'm like, man, if I would have been tracking this, and if I would have been like going through all my accounts, then I could have saved it. Because sure enough, I called the customer. I'm like, hey, we have to send someone out to do a site survey. Canceled on the spot. He's like, okay, it's ridiculous. Cancel it. And not much I can say at that point. I'm like, yeah, I agree. It is ridiculous. So I lost out on like 17 grand right there, just because I didn't have a system in place. And yeah, I didn't have a CRM, didn't have a way to track this stuff. So I think that's huge, whether you're going to get an assistant or not. Like, you track it yourself, throw it in a Google Doc at least, bare minimum. And hopefully you don't have like bad installation partners that are going to like keep track of all this stuff. But whether you do or whether you don't, I think it's important for you to be tracking it. But yeah, so like someone starting out, if someone were to hire their first like assistant in solar, do you think that'd be the most important thing you'd say, just someone to kind of like manage your projects, or is there anything else you would get an assistant for, like speaking to solar directly?
Yeah. I think anybody that intends on hitting a golden door needs a virtual assistant. Anybody that intends on being in any sales position, whether you're a manager, setter, or a closer, I think should have a virtual assistant. Now, can you team up with a couple guys and get one and split the cost? Yes. But anybody that's hitting 30 to 100 deals a year needs a virtual assistant, because here's the thing. Why? This is like the rich dad, poor dad mindset. If my time is worth $627 an hour, why am I reaching out to why am I reaching out to my homeowner to give them an update?
Yeah.
Why am I following up with my own customers? Why am I mowing my own lawn? Now, this is going to sound really, haughty or whatever, but as a business professional, as an owner, I have to understand that even though I love washing my own car and I actually like mowing lawns and watering my trees and garden, I can't do that anymore. I get paid $627 when I did solar. $627 an hour is what I made. So when I was out working 8 hours a day, I was making $627 an hour. So if I'm back home and I have to go, pick up my dog poop, dude, I was at the point where I wasn't even. It's kind of sound bad, but I wasn't even walking my own dogs. Like, I had an assistant that would walk my dogs, because it was important to me, first of all, that my dogs got walked, but second off, they need to be walked for like an hour or 2 hours, not just 20 minutes.
Yeah. So,
yes. Should anybody? Yes. Let's just say, for instance, let me give an exact example. If let's say you're a manager, you're an assistant manager, and you have maybe another assistant manager or a manager with you, you should absolutely have your own virtual assistant. If you're doing individually 80 to 100 deals, absolutely. Why are you turning in your own deals? Why are you doing proposal creation and pipeline management, and that doesn't make you any money? I know it leads to money, right? I get it's directly connected, but why are you doing pipeline and proposal management when your assistant can do it? Trust me, Taylor, if you can do it, you can teach your assistant how to do it. There's 2 apps you need to use: Loom and Tango. Loom and Tango. Tango, and then just a Google Doc. Okay. Step by step. I call it the operation buy your time back method. Have a Google Doc that has how to create a solo proposal.
Okay.
And then through Tango, it's a Chrome plugin on your computer or on your iPad. You go through the steps, and then you adjust you clean it up. You have to clean it up a little bit because it's not exactly perfect.
Yeah.
Then it'll show you step by step how to walk you through how to create the proposal. Okay? And then you loom the whole thing, meaning it's screen recording the whole thing and you're talking back to it. So now you have, hey, Mr. Assistant, Mrs. Assistant, I'm going to show you how to create a solar proposal. I'm going to show you how to change the design in Sunrun. I'm going to show you how to change the design in SunPower. I'm going to show you how to change, how to do whatever, Taylor, all of it. Yeah. Why are you doing any of these things yourself? But how to do that is using Tango, which is AI, and using Loom, which is in theory is AI.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's so true. It's like I look back on my beginning years, especially if you think about like most of these proposal softwares have gotten a lot easier and quicker to use. So that makes it nice. But especially like back in the first couple of years I was in solar, it literally took like probably 20, 30, yeah, like 20, 30 minutes to create a proposal. Yeah. So like all those hours added up, just making proposals, and then you get to an appointment, it's a no-show. They weren't there, and you just spent 30 minutes making the proposal. It's like freak. Could have went out and got a couple more leads doing that. So yeah, all these things now, it's like so much time that it amounts to, and that you're literally buying back, paying someone $5-10 an hour to help with these things. So yeah, I think we talk all day, and I know we talked a lot about that in our podcast. We did as well, but yeah, I 100% agree. It's something that most door-to-door people don't think about, and it's huge opportunity guys are missing out on there. But yeah, and then like just to wrap up with that thought though, like for you and your business, what are all the things that you have? I know you mentioned some of them already, but is there anything else that you have your like VAs assistants do that save you a bunch of time?
So I built out a software actually for solar people that does it's an automated customer experience software. So we build out workflows. We built out workflows to be able to talk with your homeowner every time it moves stages from site survey to design, permitting, install, so on and so forth. And then it contacts the customer 18 times after install. Wow. So it keeps in contact with them. So it automates the customer experience from sale to PTO. And then it's a referral machine after that. It automatically sends handwritten thank you cards to the homeowners, sends out flyers, things like that. Happy Veterans Day. So a bunch of them got Happy Father's Day. All the fathers got Happy Father's Day handwritten cards from Taylor Armstrong to their home. It was really, so that's, you want to stay in front of your customers. You want to get referrals. That's how to do that. So nice. So my assistants build those things out, as well as in my own personal business. So my two main businesses is, the Mikey Lucas brand, which gets a lot of time, and then the American Energy Fund. So inside of those, my assistants are continuing to make sure like, hey, we have to put out 4 articles a week, Entrepreneur, Inc. magazine, LinkedIn, and Medium or whatever, Reddit. So it's like, hey, we've got all these topics. Like they're going to go through this podcast and see something that I talked about here. They're going to transcribe it using Otter. Okay. And then the Otters, they're going to throw that into ChatGPT, and they're going to have ChatGPT find the key points that I talked about in here. And then like they're probably going to get a VA like article out of this. I guarantee it. Watch. They go and find that to be able to put out on the internet. So whenever somebody looks up, whatever, right? How do I become more efficient, effective, and productive, right? Or how do I maximize my solar leads, whatever? Like Mike Lucas has an article on Entrepreneur or on Inc. or on LinkedIn about it. So now my personal brand is continuing to grow. That's all my VAs, my assistants. I don't call them, it's VA as sometimes a negative connotation. I don't even like saying VA, but my assistants, my team members, I treat them like humans because they are humans. They have families, right? I buy their kids, Christmas presents on Christmas. It's cool. Nice. But yeah, they pushing the Mikey Lucas branding and then pushing the American Energy Fund branding. So I just hired a girl last week because now we've got all the social media stuff to do. I don't post on my social media. I am in the DMs, but I don't post on social media either. There's 2 people that are in charge of posting on my social media and making sure that the messages and things like that. So a lot of times if it's like a lead that wants to get in the mastermind or whatever, like they know how to push that through. But if it's like a normal conversation, like Mikey, what about taxes? What about investing? Whatever. I'm the one doing all of that, and they will screenshot that, send that to me, or put it in a section called Starred in our software. And I'll have to go through and make sure that I answer back to those messages. So they help me organize. Taylor, you probably do too. Hundreds of messages a week. I mean, I'm talking hundreds, bro. Hundreds. I can't keep up to all of them, but they'll filter out the ones that are like, hey, like this is pretty urgent. This guy wants help. Do you want me to put him on your calendar or whatever? So they help manage my calendar. They help manage my travel. They help manage, dude, like my assistant books my haircuts. Like I get haircut. Like they know, like, you know, where is Mikey humming at the best? Like it's almost like tuning a race car. Where's Mikey humming at you know, at 6,000, 5,000 RPM? Where's he humming at? You know, not like, right? Because a lot of solar guys are, you know, moving around and they're not organized. So my assistants help me with all of my life too. You know, Mikey, you know, looks like, you know, there's a deal at the movie theater that you guys love to go to. Why don't you take Ryan on a date? Like, dude, they just look out for things like that for me. And I've trained them to look for things like that for me too.
Nice. That's so cool. Yeah. And I think that's every guy's
guys also can do recruiting too. So you can have your people out. I've helped hire virtual assistants. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I forgot about that. Like, let me talk about your listeners. Yeah. You can have your virtual assistants, your assistants in your Instagram, posting on social media for you, going to Canva, finding a cool quote that you like from Elon Musk or from yourself, putting that in Canva and posting it on the internet, and come up with like 30 of those a month. Just posting pictures. You don't have to do videos, whatever. Like everyone thinks like, I got to go find all these, like, you know, I got to pay 10 grand a month for a videographer. It's like, no, you don't. Just take your camera, go outside and say, I'm knocking on doors today, follow for more, whatever. Right. And then your virtual assistant can be reaching out to people, liking, commenting, sharing their stuff. And then bada bing, bada boom. Now you're, you know, you're building your recruiting funnel.
Yeah. That's huge. Yeah, and I love it. That's something I'm trying to build out because I've seen you have it super dialed, and I'm like, man, Mike is like all over the place on social media. How is he doing this? I'm like, okay, he's probably not doing it all. He's got a team. So.
Well, yeah, I listened to Gary V. Right, Gary V. said if you don't have a personal brand, which you've obviously been doing and doing great at, so you know, you might think you're behind me, but you're only like a couple posts a month behind me. You're not very far behind me. You're right there. But Gary V says, dude, if you don't have a social media, a brand, like the Taylor Armstrong brand, the Solarpreneur brand, if you don't have that, you're going to be irrelevant in a few years. So you've already been building yours. So you're already 10 steps ahead of everybody else, which is great. Yeah. But the other side of it is, you know, you got to it's just posting more stuff. So finding people, which you've obviously are starting to post on YouTube now. So if you guys aren't listening to Solarpreneur on YouTube, make sure you find the link below and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because there's a lot of really good nuggets there too that Taylor puts out that he doesn't put out on his regular podcast apps, because YouTube is cool too. But you just got to be posting slightly more. And then Alex Hormozy says, you know, if you're posting 30 times a month, you need to be posting 80 times a week. So I post 80 times a week now. I'm not the smart one. I just, again, invest like a billionaire, not like a millionaire. Post on social media like a billionaire, not like a millionaire. So I'm just doing the quote unquote 10X or what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. That's funny.
And Taylor, if you need more virtual assistants for your social media, let me know. I just interviewed like 4 of them. Okay. Hired one.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll have to talk more because I've got one virtual assistant right now, and she's trying to do a lot. But yeah, sometimes it's like, a lot even for her.
I overloaded mine. I'm like, I feel so bad. I didn't even realize. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I feel so bad. Oh man.
Yeah. But then it's like you said, it's just because you get a VA doesn't mean you're going to start doing all these things. Like you got to create the systems. So that's been my mistake too, is I just think, I'm going to go do what Mikey's doing. But then we don't have a system for her responding to comments. We don't have a system for her posting. So of course it's not going to be as dialed in because you got to create all these things. So
yeah, I'm helping out. I'm helping Ashton, our both of our good friend Ashton, helping him out with it. I can jump on another call and show you, I mean, under the hood, exactly what I'm doing. There's no secret here. It's just, I know what most superpreneurs like yourself need is you just don't want to make the wrong step. So it's like, you're just going to try to keep going because it's working, but to get to the next level, you're like, dude, I don't want to make the wrong step up there, because if I make the wrong step, everything below that crumbles. Yeah. So yeah, dude, I'll jump on a call and show you under the hood exactly what I'm doing.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Easy. Done.
There you go. Abundance mindset. Love it.
I'll have my assistant send you the calendar right now.
Okay. Thanks. Well, cool, man. The boy. Just to start transitioning or start wrapping up here. I know you're a busy guy, Mikey, but last thing I want to touch on before we say goodbye here is obviously you're helping guys with their finances, and it's like we're all making great money in solar, but there's so many guys that are still broke. There's so many guys that don't have investments, that don't have passive income. And I'm just now starting to get more into that, which is something I would have thought about before, but and I know you've helped me with my finances before in the past when we've talked a little bit about that too. But yeah, can you speak to that? Just, I don't know, maybe some basic things to wrap up. Like, what are the mistakes these solar guys are making, and how do you get people these 5-figure passive investments? How much money does it take? I don't know, maybe it's just like some frequently asked questions you get around that.
Sure. So I'll give you kind of my like 30-second elevator pitch on this. So
Okay.
most accredited investors, or most investors, know that there's a fortune to be made in the energy industry, right? Yeah. And usually it's reserved to the elite of the elite, right? The top 1% of the 1%. And it also comes with a super high risk, right? So when you align, this is the key here, when you align with insiders that specialize in locating, filtering, structuring these specific profitable deals, investments, in other words, have a seat at the table, you can actually capitalize, create a sustainable economical future through investing in American infrastructure and technology, which is why the American Energy Fund does what we do.
Yeah.
So when you're a traditional trader, venture capitalist, institutional investor, you already know that it's very hard, but yet important to locate these specific deals. So the hard part is, Taylor, is finding the deals. When you're a Golden Door Award winner, you're doing Golden Door stuff all day long. So how do you locate these deals? How do you find time to do that? Yeah. Okay, but also something that aligns with your risk tolerance, and you have to, you can partner with funds that you need to have funds and syndications that have a clean track record, okay, and that can deploy your capital without really the government stepping in and saying, "Oh, we're shutting down the solar industry over here, or we're shutting down the real estate side over here, or whatever." So my fund does give access to those niche investments that create a sustainable growth without the retail level risks and high level requirements to actually get into, and that actually provides a path to a diverse portfolio, cash flowing assets, and a profitable exits. So obviously people investing in stocks, bonds, ETFs, real estate, public companies, whatever, binary options, S&P 500, life insurance, all that. You may know that in other words, the energy, so you can know that basically you don't have access to these high level of investments because it's extremely complicated to get into, right?
Yeah.
But the key here is that there's plenty of hedge fund managers, risky option traders, and these guys on the internet and even on social media, TikTok, talking about all these foolish, optimistic investments, right? That's why you see like Bitcoin, all these Bitcoin rich guys that are, they're not rich anymore. Where are they at? Where's all these NFT guys at? Not that NFTs are going to make a comeback, okay, because I'm probably sure they will, but where's all those guys at anymore? Okay. And maybe you're tired, Taylor, of not having access to insider knowledge and that provides you with consistent deal flow and, having solutions through unsustainable speculations and high risk. Maybe you are tired of that. That's where you need to have a specific a company and partnerships, right? Your network, which is what it ultimately comes down to, Taylor, is if you don't have a network that has those good jockeys, then you're going to work forever, make bad decisions because you don't have the time to look at those like thoroughly and actually do great due diligence on them. Okay. That's the elevator pitch. If you don't have that time because you're out, family, business, running an office, recruiting, social media, podcasts, everything, you need to find through networking these people that have already done it, that have a good, clean track record. And I've got over $30,000 a month in passive income. I have, done a lot of bad things and mistakes when it comes to financial investing. And that is why I know I'm confident that I'm making much better decisions. And it's hard. It's like, it's like in solar, like why working under Taylor Armstrong? Because Taylor has had a golden door, has hit the golden door, right? Taylor has a successful marriage. Taylor has good kids, right? Why do I want to work for Taylor Armstrong? Is because Taylor has the track record. Why do you want to invest into guys that have good track records? Is because you want to work for 10 years in door-to-door sales in the summer in the heat and then go bankrupt. Okay. You can't just think, you can't think that you're not going to go bankrupt. You're not going to lose it all. Okay. Kurt Schilling, Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson, all these people that they had hundreds of millions of dollars. Mike Tyson was paid $500 million and he's like negative $26 million. How's that possible? It's because they didn't have a strategy. So the mistake these guys are having is one, they're doing too much emotional investing. Anybody could make money in 2020, 2021, 2022. I don't care if you can make money in that. I'm going to show people, and this is what I do. I show people how I made money, and I'm going to continue to make money when the market goes down. And that's what the key is. Anybody can make money when the market's up. But the key is networking with people and saying, hey, let me pay for your time. Show me how to make money in a down market. Anybody can make money in an up market, Taylor. It's super easy.
Yeah, love that. So just like in general, how much to start getting in these investments and all that, like how much do people need? If someone's listening that's like, oh, I can't afford this, Mikey, like how much do people really need to start kind of doing some of these investments with you guys?
So with us personally, with the American Energy Fund, they need $100,000 minimum. So here's the basics, right? You got to think about in $100,000 increments. So saving, putting aside $100,000 is roughly, with like the S&P 500 or just an average 10% rule, the 10% rule I call it, is $833 a month in passive income. So if you get a 10% return with the $100,000, every $100,000 you invest should give you $833 a month. So if you need, $2,400 a month in passive income, you need, right, $300,000, which is what you should be shooting for. So think about it in $100,000 increments.
Okay.
And roughly a 10% return. You're not going to get 10% return investing in a single family properties. I'll tell you that. Yeah. But what's the first thing they want to invest into? Real estate. Well, if a billionaire says when everyone's optimistic, you should be pessimistic. And when everyone's pessimistic about it, you should be optimistic about it. That's why I stayed in energy and I didn't get into real estate. I have a big real estate portfolio, but it's not single family properties. I've got one single family property. Everything else, commercial, land, industrial.
Yeah.
So you should think about it in $100,000 increments. People can do $50,000 increments as well, and do other syndications and things like that. But you should think about it in $100,000 increment. And it is not as complicated as you think it is to get the $100,000, because that $100,000 is $833 a month. And our fund, our target is actually $1,600 a month for every $100,000. It's actually not $833. So it's 20%.
Yeah. Okay.
It's our target IRR right now.
Okay. And so if I'm a rep listening to this and want to do investments, because some people are like, oh, I'm just going to invest like 1,000 here, 1,000 there, throw it on Robinhood, whatever. Yeah. So like, do you suggest instead of like, I don't know, just throwing $1,000 around here and there, is it better to just like put this money in a separate account and get to $100,000 and then make these big investments? Is that like generally what you suggest people do?
So here's what I did. And this is what got me to just over $30,000 a month in passive income. Wow. I needed to be in the game. So I automated 2 investments, one in Energy Transfer, which is a pipeline stock, and the other one was Realty Income. So I wanted to get my foot in the door with energy and with real estate. So I started an automation inside of Robinhood that was buying $100 a week into Realty Income and into Energy Transfer. So I was continually getting the, hey, you're an investor in Energy Transfer. Why don't you jump on the calls? So I would listen to the calls every once in a while, and I would read the reports, portions of the reports, not all of it, but I would read it. So I started to get like knowledgeable about it, and then I started looking at myself like, oh my gosh, I am an energy investor. I'm investing in energy. Warren Buffett owns Oxy and Chevron. Like, he's the largest shareholder of these companies, like owns them, right? I wanted to get myself to think like I'm an energy investor. Then in real estate, instead of going and buying a single family property, I invested $100 a week. Okay. So if you guys are listening, you can't do $100 a week, do $10 a week. Automate the system. Maybe not go spend $1,000 here and there. Automate the system where you can do $10 a week, $20 a week, whatever, $100 a month, whatever you can. Automate it through reoccurring purchases in Robinhood and do that. That's what I did. And then put the rest of the money, 10, 20, 30% of your paycheck into a separate account called your freedom fund or investment fund, and just label it, hey, $100,000. This is what I'm gonna wait till I have $100,000 and then start investing. But at the same time, you're getting little micro investments and you're getting monthly and quarterly paychecks from Energy Transfer and Realty Income. So you're now, and you're thinking like an investor, and you're continually investing every single day, technically every day, right? Into those stocks. That's what I did.
Okay.
That worked very, very well, because it was always like really cool to like every few weeks or whatever, you'd see like, oh, you just got paid $3.82 from Realty Income. Like, yes, passive income.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the other huge key in this is, like you said, taking a percentage of what you make and just put it in the freedom fund. I remember that's one of the biggest things I learned from you, Mikey, and something that like Tony Robbins talks about, Money Master the Game. Most guys don't do this, just like taking that set percentage and just having it automatically go away every time, I think is massive. And how you just do it without thinking about it. So
yeah, I don't notice $100 a week. So find out what that is as you as a listener. Find out what that is for you. If it's $5 a week, $10 a week, like $5 should be like, a tall coffee at Starbucks, right? It's 2023. Tall coffee at Starbucks, $5, right? That's a coffee a week that you're putting toward. And again, that might not seem like a lot, but also guess what I did? Because I talk about coffee a lot like that. I actually started buying $25 a week in Starbucks. That's one of my best performing stocks right now. I'm not a big stock guy, but I am a automation guy because I wanted to, my stock of my investment portfolio, my stocks are less than 5% of the portfolio, but it's cool. It's like, it's fun. Like I'm still participating in the stock market, and it might be $25 here, $25 there. Or it's really like about $1,000 a month I'll put into it, but that's such a small portion of my portfolio. But yeah, I buy, my wife buys Starbucks like every day. So like, not every day now, but she used to for a while. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to make money on Starbucks. So I started putting $20 a week.
There you go. Make money off her purchases. Smart.
Yeah. I actually have. Now it's not, I haven't given my money back, obviously, but or her money, it's whatever. You get the point.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, cool, Mikey. Well, I know we could spend hours more on this stuff, but yeah, if people do want to like join your mastermind, potentially start learning more of this stuff from you, get way more in depth, what's the best way to do that? And how could they potentially start working with you?
Yeah. Reaching out on Instagram is the best way to go. I can get you some links. You can put the links in the show notes, whatnot too. Cool. That way, we could do, we can help Taylor back out and promote, Taylor's whole journey as well. But yeah, Instagram at Mikey Lucas. That's the best way to go. Best way to get a hold of me. Like if you text me, it's probably not going to get answered. But Instagram is there.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So for all the listeners, invest in yourself and go consider working with a guy like Mikey that can help you know the investments you should make. And if anything, go hit him up on Instagram. This guy is dropping fire content. Go follow his podcasts and get your Golden Door Award if you haven't already. So just to end here, do you have any final words of wisdom or final advice that you give to like maybe a struggling solar rep or someone that's just starting out in solar cells, Mikey, that you could leave us with?
Yeah, man. Let me try to do one that I haven't done in a long time or haven't done ever. Taylor, I think people are taking it too serious. Okay. I'll give you two. I think people are taking it too serious. I think you need to have more fun. I'm talking like strategic fun, like just by smiling, fun. I'm not talking like skipping school and going to the movies, skipping door to door and going to the movies. That's not fun. I'm not talking that fun. I'm talking like while you're on doors, freaking smile, dude. Smile. First tip, freaking smile. Okay. Second tip, Taylor, would be if you work for somebody else. So I don't care if you work for somebody else or if you're the owner, the owner still works for your guy. You still work for your guys. You know that. If you're like a setter, closer, manager, whatever, and you're not the owner, you need to become so valuable in that office, in that region, that they need you to continue to run their business. If you're not becoming more valuable to your office, like you want to know why you're not getting the attention, whatever, is because you're not. You want to know why you're not motivated to read more sales books or business books is because you don't think you need it. You don't think you need the information from those books. Yeah. But when you become so valuable that company, that office needs you to continue to move forward, then brother, you're of extreme value.
Boom. There you go. Sweet. That's fire. So Mikey, thanks again for coming on. Guys, go shoot Mikey a follow and enjoy the process. Smile when you're out there working today. And thanks again for coming on, Mikey.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it, man.
Okay. We'll talk soon.